Grateful Test Prep has thousands of free SAT lessons, all on YouTube. You can prepare for the entire SAT only using Grateful. Be sure to tell all your friends. Let's start solving this question and see how close you were. First, let's imagine an XY axis, and let's call the center of it Q, R. That's point C. Now, because we have an XY coordinate of Q plus 5 and R plus 2 root 3, well, if this is the X and this is the Y, it means we're going to the right by 5 and we're going up by 2 radical 3. So let's just imagine going a little to the right and a little up, and that's going to be in the amounts of 5 and 2 root 3. And we'll go ahead and put a line there, but let's go ahead and just label that point there is Q plus 5, R plus 2 root 3. Now, away from this shape, let's imagine a right triangle. And the reason for that is because any diagonal segment is really the hypotenuse of some right triangle. This one is no different. So just imagine we're thinking about that triangle right there. And the bottom length of the triangle of this leg is 5. And the vertical leg is 2 root 3. Now, how do we find the length of the hypotenuse? Of course, we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. 5 squared plus 2 root 3 squared equals C squared. 5 squared is 25. And 2 root 3, well, if we square the 2, we get 4. And radical 3 squared is just 3. That's because squaring is the opposite of taking a square root. So right now we've got 25 plus 12 equals C squared, and that adds up to 37. Square root of both sides, and C is the square root of 37. And that's the length of our hypotenuse. So we'll go ahead and label that on the XY axis. Now the question also talks about this being part of a circle. So the end of the yellow ray, that's point B, and so BC has a length of root 37. Now if BCA is a right angle, then the other part of this angle is going to be right around here. Now it could have gone downward and to the right as well. It really doesn't matter as long as you have a right angle right there. So we're going to label the end here A. Now BC is a radius of the circle, and so is AC. And all radii of a circle are all equal to each other if they're radii of the same circle. So we'll label root 37 right here as well. Now what we actually have is a right triangle. It looks something like this. And it's got root 37 here, root 37 here, and it's got a right angle right there. So what we have here is something really special. It's an isosceles right triangle because these are congruent. You've got the right angle. And one thing you should know for the SAT is that all isosceles right triangles are 45, 45, 90 triangles. And if you don't know already, the ratio for a 45, 45, 90 triangle is x, x, x radical 2. In other words, if we have root 37, for the hypotenuse, we can say root 37 times square root of 2. That's our x radical 2. Now, how do you multiply two radicals? Well, you just multiply what's underneath. So this all comes out to the square root of 74. And that's our answer right there, square root of 74. On a real SAT, you might be asked to pick that as one of the answer choices or to round it to the nearest tenth. But that's the answer, and stay tuned for more challenge math questions from Grateful.